Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to continue with the hand detail retopology, which is this little piece right here. Very simple. Again, remember that this is not the final piece that we're going to be baking. It's really low poly. It's decimated. We lose a lot of the detail. If we go really quickly here to ZBrush and we take a look at the actual character, you're going to see that all of the pieces have way more detail than what we're showing. Let me show you here real quick. I believe it's this one. There we go. So look at all of those nice little details, and we're gonna add even more details once we get into the textures and stuff. But yeah, all of that. So the only issue with this piece is that it's not symmetrical, right? Symmetrical on X, but it's not symmetrical, even though it's supposed to be symmetrical. So it's just a little bit of extra work to make sure that this looks as symmetrical as possible as we can get it. So we're gonna try to land the points right there, something like that. And even though it looks like it's a even though this one looks like it's a square, it's actually or a triangle. It's actually a square, as you can see right there. I don't need to add as much resolution to this thing either. We can keep it quite low poly, and the main reason why we can do that is because this is one of those things that's not going to move. It's going to be probably parented to the wrist, so wherever the wrist moves, we're going to see this thing moving as well, and that's going to give us a really nice like a hard movement on the object, and therefore we won't need to waste. We don't want to bend this, right? A lot of times in games, you're gonna see this famous name that they give things, which is a bendy armor. Especially when you are wearing like a full plate or something like that in games, it's very obvious when the character like jumps or just like does some crazy movement, the armor bends as if it's made out of plastic. I'm gonna try not to do that with this character. That of course means that our rigging is gonna be a little bit more extreme, or not extreme, a little bit more complex, but it should give us a really nice result at the end. I actually thought this was symmetrical. It seems like it's not, or this guy right here is causing some weird issues. There we go. Let's keep a triangle there rather. It's not letting me. That's fine. We can fill it later. So we just push all of these lines down. Now, are we gonna subdivide this guy and conform it? No. Why not? Because remember, this is a hard surface object, and usually hard surface objects, you wanna try to nail the topology from the very beginning so that you get the best possible shape out of them. There we go. And we just go over here. And the fun thing about this, guys, is that again, since they're gonna be flat, they're not gonna deform. As long as everything looks clean and cool, that's fine. On the inside or on the back here, I like to just give it a quick loop around. You know, push all of the edges in one time, just to keep things organized. It's not symmetrical, or it's not perfectly symmetrical, but that's fine. Let's do one triangle there and just mix those together. And this intersection right here, I might try to have a center line right there, but it's not mandatory. And then we just keep filling all of this in. And usually for this flat surfaces, things just fall into place really nicely. So as you can see right there, that's it. That's our low poly for that piece. We're just missing this little triangle right there. Just double click, edit mesh, or mesh, fill hole. There we go. And that's it. We of course delete the history. The history, and we mirror to the other side. We mirror. It's not mirroring. No object matches. It's really weird. Okay, let's grab this guy right here. Let's hide it. And let's mirror. World. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It should be on the other side as well. That's it. So again, when we move the hand or the palm, this thing is going to follow the palm always. Okay, so if we were to bend this thing, it's going to bend roughly at this section right here, and this thing is always going to follow as a solid object. We shouldn't have any sort of like bendy armor on that specific part. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. I think we still have a little bit of time, so let's take a look at the character and let's see what other things we're missing. Okay, so I can see the straps right here. We'll have these little guys right here. So it might not be a bad idea to export this already since we're going to be using it later on. And yeah, I think that's it. Yep, the nails. So we're just missing this little straps right here and the nails. So let's use a little bit of the time that we have right now to export this, guys. We're just gonna export. This is that's perfectly fine name. Just hit OK. Going here, file, import. We import the. Wait, did they not? There we go. Let's just refresh this. File, import, arm straps keychains. There we go. So this is going to be our high poly. Oh, wait a second. That looks really bad. And that looks really bad because of the name. So let's just delete this guy and re-import. So there we go. Should be down here. We need to paste the name or the value, which is the distance. Let's, of course, change the material to Lambert 1. I'm actually going to go to the Hypershell real quick and just say edit, delete, and use nodes so that we only have the materials that we're using. Let's say mesh display, unlock normals. And the one thing I'm going to do here is, first of all, I want to create the low poly. This is pretty much the low poly that we want for our element. I might even add like a little bit of a bevel to this, guys, to be honest, just to get a little bit more interesting effect. This guy right here, I'm a little bit concerned by the fact that it has a lot of faces. So let's simplify those faces. I'm going to delete those, delete this inner ring, control delete. Okay, if it's not letting me control delete, that means that something might be broken. Let's just fix this. Yeah, so it seems like the vertices or something are not welded. That's really weird. Let's do mesh fill hole. There we go. That's fine. So I'm just gonna select all of these faces and delete them. And then I'm gonna grab this edge. I'm just gonna grab all of the vertices. It seems like the vertices are unwelded or something. I'm just gonna say edit mesh and then merge. And that should give me an edge loop. There we go. I think it's my mouse. I think my mouse is having some issues. I'm just gonna say mesh, fill hole. Mesh fill hole. Okay, it seems like Maya is actually a little bit weird, and that usually happens when you've been using it for a while. So I'm gonna do file, increment, and save, and I'll be back for the next video, guys. I'm gonna just close and reopen Maya, and we'll finish this little guy right here. The only thing that we need to do is fix that stuff, give it a quick bevel, and that should be it. But for some reason, it's having a little bit of a hard time right now. There we go. It seems like it recovered. Let's fill hole. There we go. Okay, so that's it. Just grab these two guys, and we're going to say mesh, edit mesh poke. There we go. And then what I want to do is I want to select one of this. Oh, okay. It seems to be the isolate select option that's freaking it out. Okay. So let's just skip one and select the other one. That way we, again, are going to reduce polygons. There we go. That's it. Control delete. It's going to make a low poly cylinder, which is fine. I'm even tempted to give it to just one bevel. I know it's not really necessary, but it's just going to make things look a little bit nicer. Just a small little bevel there. So I'm going to mesh display, unlock normals, mesh display, harden edge. It should be like quite like hard. Actually, I'm going to soften them. So mesh display, soften edge. And we're going to change the name here to underscore low. Duplicate this, change the name here to underscore high. And I'm going to select this faces, this faces, this faces, and this faces. And I'm going to do a bevel to all of those. Small segment. Let me hide this. Go back to this one. Wow, Maya is really not liking what I'm doing. Okay, let me go back here a little bit. There we go. So let's hide the low poly, grab the high poly, grab this faces, this faces, this faces, and this faces. Bevel. There we go. 2 segments and a small fraction. And for this one, I'm just gonna grab this guys right here and bevel. There we go. So it's gonna be our high poly element. Both of them, we delete history, and we're ready. And since we still have a little bit of time here, let's very quickly jump into ZBrush. Go to the straps, this one's right here. And as you can see, these are actually really clean. We can go all the way down to the lowest subdivision levels, and they are already the way we want them. They're definitely a little bit high on the subdivision count on the horizontal axis, but on the vertical axis, they seem to be working fine. So let's call this left arm straps underscore low. Hit OK. Let's go for the left arm straps. Delete that one because it's going to be the same name. File, import, arm straps low, import. Let's paste the same number. There we go. So they're supposed to be where they're supposed to be. Perfect. This ones actually don't have any texture. I remember when we were doing this ones, they don't have any textures. So that means that we don't have a high poly yet. So easiest way to fix this is just same process that we did with the keychain. Just duplicate this and call this high. And we're gonna give it a couple of divisions. So mesh, just like a smooth subdivision. There we go. So that's the low poly, and this is the high poly. Now for the low poly, we do want to reduce these things a little bit. I don't remember if there was a selection to select one loop and then the other. Okay, so unfortunately, there isn't a specific, a specific tool inside of Maya, but there's a little script that I just found that I think is going to be really cool. So I'm going to show you how to script real quick. Well, it's not scripting, it's just using a code. So we're going to go down here to the corner to the script editor, and we're going to go to MEL, which is Maya Embedded Language. And we're going to write down this one right here. All of this. So it's poly select etch every N, okay? Make sure you use capital letters and everything. It's poly select, it's poly normally, and then select with capital S, etch with capital E, every capital E, and then N. Space, you open this little thingies, etch ring, close, and then the amount of every, like which ones do you want to select? In this case, it's 2. So you double click your object, you select this little thing, and you just run the command. And as you can see, we've selected one etch ring every single 2 elements, okay? Now, what we can do here to make this even easier is just grab this whole thing and just middle mouse and drag it up here. And this is now a little icon. So now if I just click here and click there, it's going to execute the command, as you can see right there. So select this guy, select there, and we get this. We are getting a double selection right here. I don't think that's that big of a problem. So I'm just going to delete all of those edges. So select one, select that one, and then delete. Select one, select that one, and delete. And as you can see, that reduces the amount of polygons from whatever we had to this, which is a lot closer to our poly frame with our character. Okay, this guys, of course, are high polys. Our high polys are ready, so let's bring them onto the high polys. Same for the keychain high, that's ready. So let's go right there. Let's select everything here and just delete history to make sure that we don't have any extra stuff. And always, always, always make sure to clean your elements. For instance, here I forgot to clean my stuff, and I'm already like having an issue trying to find out what these things are. So this, for instance, are the Thyros arm bandages low. This is the arm strap low, which is this little thing right here. That's perfect. And then keychain straps. This poly surface, we had that. It was the hand armor. So we just copy the name. And this is going to be hand armor low. And all of those low polys, we can bring them into the retopologized meshes folder. Again, always, always try to keep your stuff organized, because otherwise it's going to be really difficult to follow along and make sure we have everything that we need. So far, if we take a look, you can see that we're at 58,000 triangles. I'm guessing we're gonna get all the way to something like 150 by the end of the whole process. But yeah, I mean, this guy is looking really, really, really cool. So I'm gonna stop the video right here, guys. In the next one, we're gonna do the nails, and that's gonna be pretty much it for chapter 2. we're gonna be done with chapter 2, which was the upper chest area. We're missing the necklace, I know, but we're gonna do that in the props chapter. Other than that, we are missing some belts here. Of course, the fur. I'll explain what we're gonna be doing there. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.